Okay, we are back with Printable Tabletop Mapping Kit. Last time I showed you how to set up a map from scratch. Now I'm going to show you how to use layers to do multiple tile types, multiple terrains to be exact. So I just make a new layer, tile layer. Name it whatever you want. I'm going to make angled layers this time, an angled terrain, and I'm putting it underneath the cave layer. And this time I don't want to fill in and cover up the whole map like I did before, because I'm not digging, I'm building. So I'm going to select the middle tile on the tile set terrain that I want, and I'm going to go to bucket fill, and this time I'm going to fill it with that. You might have to zoom out to get it to turn blue, and then you fill it. Now you go to terrain and you go to build. I'm doing angled, so I need to match it up for it to work automatically. I choose the middle tile of the angled set, the angle being the one having diagonals. Straight is this one, diagonal or angled is this one. I have to match it up. Alright, so I'm using diagonal or angled. So I choose dig or build here. So I need to build now because I just filled it with the empty terrain tile. So I go to build, angled, and it's behind it, so it's automatically going to work. Just go like that. Now you got some kind of bench or shelf right there. And now you can tint it. Alright, that's going to be helpful for multiple layers. So if I want to represent a shelf right there, I could even make a two-layer shelf. If I make a new layer, walls angled 2, I'll call it. I'm going to put that underneath and build. First I gotta fill it with the empty one. I just painted, so I'll undo and paint. There we go. And now we go to build. Alright, so I undid it because I started drawing accidentally. Then I did bucket fill with the correct empty tile. Now I do build. Since if I want to build, I gotta first fill it with the empty tile. And there you go, you got a shelf or bench, whatever you want to use it for. Now what you got to do if you want to color it is just select the layer you want, go to tint color, click it, choose the dot 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 menu, and tint it. Choose the layer you want, click tint color, click the dot 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 menu, choose the color. Right there, you got it. If you want to color your walls, if you're not using up a lot of ink, such as if you have a lot of positive space, you might want to just color the background. You can tint the ground, or you can texture the ground as I showed you last time, or you can tint the walls. I'm going to choose walls cave since those are my main walls that I want to darken up. You go to tint color, choose dot dot dot, choose a color. You got it right there. That's what you do. Now these numbers are right up here in the objects menu. When you're in an object layer, you can use it. So I'm going to go to new layer, object layer. I named it text, and now you can type in some text if you go to the text creation box or button. Alright, now I just click where I want the text, and I can change the size right here. It's going to have to be real big because of the way that this tile set is double size. And you just go up here and it's not big enough as 72. If your text gets hidden, your box isn't big enough, so you make it bigger like that. And then you just make it even bigger if you want, because it's still not that big, especially if you're printing the map small, such as a quarter page or half page. Alright, now I changed this to say 96. That's a little better. Alright, it doesn't go up that far on the bar, but you could still type it and push select. Okay, and push enter to preview it and push enter. Or select. Alright, there we go. Now we got it right there. And you can, once you choose the font you want, you don't want to keep doing that over and over. So what I do is I just copy and paste it. So I got two things right here, and I just change the text over here in the text field. So I could put 10 here. If this is a map players see, so that they will not see any of the names of things. For your maps, even in for your dungeon master, sometimes you want them to only see the numbers, so it's neater. Then you can put a list under it in your text or word processing program. I use Scribus for layout of books and use LibreOffice Draw for layout of documents for desktop publishing. But you can also do it in Word or LibreOffice Writer, which is comparable to Word. I change this over here to what I want. I'm going to make 11. There we go. We got all our points of interest up here, and we're good to go. Now we can also make a new layer if you wanted to hide certain stuff. If you want to make a player map, so what you could do is just hit the I to hide those things. Then you could do File, Export as Image, and choose a file and make sure that only include visible layers is checked. Uncheck all the rest because you don't want to zoom it. You want to retain the high resolution for when you're printing. The whole purpose of this tile set is for printing. So now you can just save it like that. I would suggest locking your ground layer and your grid layer like this, so you don't accidentally manipulate them. But if you want to change your thickness of your grid lines, like I showed you in the last video, you have to unlock it. Alright, that should about do it. Yeah, there was one more thing. We wanted to change the pillars last time, and we could not. So we're going to go here, and we can manually place tiles. So we use the tile sets instead of terrains, and choose something like this. Go to a new layer. I'm going to make a new layer above the walls layer called Objects. And now you can build using the build tool if you have filled the layer with an empty layer, or you can manually place tiles without the auto completion by clicking them in the tile sets tab. So I'm going to use the stamp tool instead of the terrain tool for this part, and I want to make these pillars nicer. So I will simply go to the walls cave layer, and we'll go to terrains, dig cave. I will dig out those pillars. I will go back to tile sets, choose the pillar I want, put them right in there, and you can even put them on the same layer and they are tinted the same. And that's it for today. Thank you for stopping by.